If you're a fan of big Android phones, you've got a slew of devices to choose from already. Samsung has definitely stepped up its design game in the past few months, giving the Galaxy Note 4 a completely premium look, with its all-metal frame and chamfered edges to the faux leather removable back. It's probably the best-looking Samsung device out right now. The Nexus 6, on the other hand, is just downright huge. It sports the same contoured aluminum frame and plastic back as the new Moto X, and it doesn't look quite as good as the Note 4, that's for sure. But it does have front-facing speakers, giving it an edge over the Note 4 in that department. While size is certainly a contributing factor to the handling experience, the design language plays a big role as well. The flat size and texture back on the Galaxy Note 4 help keep the phone secure when holding one-handed, while the Nexus 6's hard plastic back and curved size make for a somewhat slippery experience, which is never a good thing, especially for a device this big. There's really not too much to complain about with either phone. They're both great looking devices. However, I feel like the Nexus 6 is just way too big for me, and I personally am a big fan of the blocky and rectangular design from the Note 4. It just feels much better, and I feel more confident holding the phone one-handed, whereas the Nexus 6, I feel like I'm always going to drop the phone, which is most certainly not a good thing. Now, while the difference between display size isn't that much, 5.7 inches on the Note 4 and 5.96 inches on the Nexus 6, you won't really notice a difference in clarity or sharpness between these two devices since both feature QHD resolution displays. However, the differences lie on their screen technology. Google opted to use AMOLED to ensure a punchy and colorful experience with good contrast, while Samsung opted to use Super AMOLED to give users even better contrast ratio, brighter screens, and better color saturation. If you're not a fan of the super high saturation on the Galaxy Note 4, you do have the ability to adjust the color profile to your liking, something not possible with the Nexus 6. Bottom line, both displays are gorgeous, and you honestly can't go wrong with either one, but if I were to choose between the two, I'd choose the Note 4 just because I can tone down the color profile to my liking. When it comes to the camera, Google's direction with the stock camera app in the Nexus 6 is pretty clear. It's simple and straight to the point. It only offers a few shooting modes and no manual controls whatsoever. In contrast, the Galaxy Note 4 takes a completely different approach and offers a slew of shooting modes and controls to give users more options when shooting. On paper, it sounds like the 16 megapixel camera on the Galaxy Note 4 is far superior to the Nexus 6's 13 megapixel shooter, but that's not really true at all. Both snap pictures really quick, and in terms of photo quality, it's a pretty close one. Shots were contrasty and not too overly saturated, and images were sharp, though I feel like Samsung tends to over-sharpen every image I took, which I don't like very much. In video, both can record in 4K and both look absolutely gorgeous, but the Note 4 can tap to focus, whereas the Nexus 6 can't. Why? I'm not exactly sure why, and that's a huge letdown for me. So if I were to choose between the two, I would have to pick the Note 4 over the Nexus 6, just because it offers more shooting modes and a more flexible experience over the Nexus 6. Open these two phones up, you'll find the same Snapdragon 805 processor, the same 3GB of RAM, the same Adreno 420 GPU, and the same size 3220 mAh battery. When it comes to overall hardware and performance, both devices should be pretty much an even match as they pack the exact same specs. And in our testing, we played games, browsed the web, and watched a few episodes on Netflix. We didn't really notice any major slowdowns. If there was lag, it was on the Note 4 when using multi-window or quickly switching between apps. And battery life on these two are incredible too. Both would last a full day, maybe even more, doing everyday tasks like we mentioned earlier. And that's pretty impressive for smartphones with such a large and high-resolution displays. Now, in terms of storage, the Note 4 has an advantage over the Nexus 6. It only comes in a 32GB model, which is expandable up to 128GB via microSD card, whereas the Nexus 6 comes in 32GB or 64GB versions, but neither are expandable. Still, I think 64GB is enough for most people, and we do think that the Nexus 6 paired with Android Lollipop is just a bit faster thanks to its new art runtime. Let me stop the video for a second, and I know we're talking about the Nexus 6 and Note 4, but LG is our sponsor this week, so we wanted to take a moment to mention the G3. The LG G3 is the latest smartphone in LG's award-winning G series. It now comes with a larger, clearer display, a laser-precise camera, and a superior smart interactivity. LG G3 is the first smartphone in the US with a Quad HD display and also the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus. If you're looking to get a smartphone for the next couple of years, the LG G3 is a great way to go. The major difference between these two devices are probably software. The Note 4 is still running Android 4.4 KitKat with Samsung's TouchWiz skin over it, while the Nexus 6 comes equipped with the latest OS from Google, Android 5.0 Lollipop. The Nexus 6 with Android Lollipop is just a beauty. One of the best things about Android Lollipop is the redesigned interface, what Google's calling material design. It's flat, it's colorful, and animations are everywhere. There are also some cool new features as well, like the ability to switch users and an improved notification system, something that the Note 4 doesn't offer. However, Samsung's TouchWiz offers a bunch of software features like multi-window, which allows two apps to run in split screen, and there are various emotions and gestures that makes the user experience even better, something that stock Android doesn't really offer. Now, the Note 4 also has the S Pen, which works almost like a mouse on your phone. You'll be able to do a lot of different actions like highlight a particular section of the website, which will translate that into text and give you the URL to that website. And you'll be able to type, cut, and copy easier, which is definitely an asset for power users. So if you want something simplistic and something that's not too flashy, the Nexus 6 with Android Lollipop is an awesome awesome choice. You'll be able to receive the latest updates directly from Google the moment they become available, but if you're more of a power user and want something that'll change the way you work and you want to be able to do 2 things at once, then the Note 4 with TouchWiz is the way to go. Eventually, in the coming months, we'll see Android Lollipop hit the Note 4, which we can't wait to see. In the end, the Galaxy Note 4 comes out on top. It just offers more features than the Nexus 6, it has a slightly better camera, and I'm sure in the next couple of months when Android Lollipop hits this device, we'll be getting some of those sweet features as well, like priority mode, multi-user support, and even the new Android Art runtime. Now, the Nexus 6 is an awesome phone as well, but the Note 4 just ultimately is the better phone here. And with Android Lollipop coming in the near future, it should be even better. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. If you guys want to see any other comparison videos, make sure to let us know in the comments down below. And as always, I'm Mark Linsanger from Techno Buffalo. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you guys would like to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And we'd like to play video games every now and then in this office, so make sure to check us out at twitch.tv/technobuffalo, and we hope to see you guys there.